Thank you very much. So I am kind of in an advantage of 2 minutes. Excellent. Uh, okay, I will not. Now, we professors, we like to move around and, talk like this. Good afternoon, I'm Ibrahim Kushchu. I am running a company called The Next Minds. It looks at artificial intelligence and how we can make artificial intelligence good for the humanity. Basically, we are trying to reduce the potential negative effects of artificial intelligence for the future. So today I will be talking to you about adaptive intelligence and adaptive individuals and adaptive society. I am very lucky because most of the concepts that I will be using in this talk have been all explained, and so I'll be a little bit quick. Now, the first example that I have learned about being an adaptive individual is this lady. She was born in one of the remote areas of Turkey, in a rural area, just before the World War I. And as a young lady, she found a job in one of the local hospitals. Now, she worked with the French doctors, because at that time there were some French presence in that part of Turkey. She learned a bit of French, but what is more important, because she didn't know how to read and write, because she had never had an opportunity to have a formal education, she learned about drugs. When you showed her a box of a drug with its color, size, and some of the letters, she would be able to tell you what this drug is used for, and more critically, what are the side effects of these drugs. She would have memorized by the time she was working in this hospital. This core skill has helped her a lot, all through her life, especially when, after her husband died early and unexpectedly and left her with 7 kids at a young age. Now, I am one of those kids. I have learned from my mother how to be adaptive, and I'm the youngest of all. Now, in terms of artificial intelligence and adaptive intelligence, in artificial intelligence, we study a lot of various types of intelligence, and most of them has been kind of mentioned in the previous talks. But today, I will talk to you about artificial intelligence. Now, intelligence is a capacity to reduce uncertainty, to respond to changes in and around our life. One of the most important characteristics of intelligence is that it is dynamic and it is adaptive. We study our animal intelligence, we study plant intelligence, but what is, for this talk, important is the collective intelligence. Here is an example of simulation that we do with robots. We look at ants, how they make structures, and then we try to simulate the same in machines. Now, this is important for our collective and adaptive intelligence. If you look at this picture, you will see that a colony of ants compute the shortest path from the food source to their nest. So when ants move around, they lay pheromone, and this pheromone attracts other ants. If the path is shorter, there are more pheromones on that path than the longer paths, because traveling is more. So the more the ants travel in the shortest path, the more effective is the smell. So the other ants get attracted, and by this means they compute the shortest path between food source and the nest. This system, there's no central authority. Nobody tells them where the food is and where the short path is. And in this system is adaptive. If you break the shortest path, then you will see that they will find the next available shortest path by the help of those ants who are not on the optimum rule. Now, what does this mean for us? Now, AI will create a world of wonders with IoT, augmented reality, virtual reality, and other technologies that we've been talking here, with the cloud and automation. Now, we will have objects and devices everywhere in our body and around us. And these devices will be talking to each other, and they will be solving our certain tasks which will help our daily life and also for our business life. And this will be seamless. Mostly we will never feel that these tasks have been solved for us. Now, there will be lots of forms of communication between machines and human and machine to machine. So data will be all around us like the oxygen that we are breathing. So for this kind of future, what does this mean for education? Now, this kind of future will help us to train adaptive individuals for the skills that we don't know yet. And maybe for the skills that we don't know that we don't know. Because this kind of future is creating a lot of uncertainties. Now, what are the means of making that kind of education is customization, personalization that has been just already mentioned. Now, think about no classroom, but everywhere, no classroom, but individual and authentic learning. Think about no school buildings, but everywhere is a platform for learning. Think about no one-size-fits-all content, but personalized and customized delivery of educational materials. Now think about no teachers. No, I think we will always need teachers, especially even though a robot will teach a certain content, but we will need value-based training. With these machines all being around and machines maybe being on our body, the value-based learning will be even more important. But the key question is, who is this for? I think all these problems that have been mentioned, especially in the sessions before lunch, shows us that it is not always the system, educational system, which is wrong or which has problems. It is how we see the society. It determines how we are actually designing our educational system. So we have to really reimagine this and think about this. Now, are we designing this education system, again, for the powerful, who has the money, who has the data, who has the wealth? Or are we designing this system for a kid looking for a clean water in Africa or a farmer at the top of the Himalayas? These questions are very, very important. Now, for the first time in the history of humankind, we have a technology with artificial intelligence that will help us to be able to create an educational system, a learning system that will respond to the needs and desires, abilities and capacities of individual learners to become adaptive. So we shouldn't really miss this opportunity, especially for underserved communities. And is this going to be possible? Personally, I don't think it will be. And sadly, I don't think it will be. And I will leave you with the question, why not? Why it will not be possible. Thank you.